Howdy everybody, welcome to the Night Night Podcast. Once again, this time it's actually raining like I thought it was going to happen last time. I've got my umbrella out here to keep the camera from getting wet, although it already is kind of wet. Oh my goodness, there are people out there yelling. So, today we're going to be telling a good old story about rain. It's raining. I guess the story's gonna be about rain, because I can't think of anything else. We could call this the Great Big Dam. So there was this kid named Joel. Joel was getting tired and bored of life. Man, he was a computer programmer, and he was getting tired of staring at that damn screen all day. Days and nights all blending together. Whenever he'd walk out into the sunlight, it would feel unnatural, and his eyes would close almost from the brightness. He was disconnected from nature. So he decided that he was gonna move to somewhere where there were trees and grass and mountains, up north. Somewhere quiet. He had saved up enough money. He had been a hard worker, and he wasn't much of a spender. It was just himself. He had no girlfriend, he had no kids. His parents were dead. So he decided to just move with nothing tying him down. And he came to this small little town called Disclose. Disclose was a quaint town at first. He walked around and everybody was kind, and most of the people around there were farmers. They had a big old orange orchard. Oh man, was it beautiful. First thing he did was walk all the trails. Oh my, the beauty, the snakes, the raccoons, oh my, the birds, the crickets, all the sounds. And he was so far out away from the rest of civilization that he could see the stars at night. He hadn't bought himself a TV yet, and he didn't really bring any of his stuff. He just kind of on a whim left. So he didn't have much to do but go outside first. Now, this entire town, oddly enough, was built on a dam. This dam created all of the town's electricity, all the hydroelectricity. And it was beautiful, the way that it was carved out. It was a mixture of brick and wood in the most elegant of ways. It had statues and many, many levels where the water poured out into the river. Oh man, was it a masterpiece. How had nobody brought this place up? How does nobody talk about this place? This is marvelous. This is like an actual monument, Joel thought. And as he stared at this, he saw something. A crack? No, it can't be. There wouldn't be no crack. This dam's been here for who knows long, and it's beautiful and it's immaculate and it's been built with structure. And what are the chances that I came here and it decided to just crack? Well, as concerned as he was, he went and found somebody, and he said, "Hey, I saw a crack in the dam." He said, "Oh, the crack. Yeah. We don't talk about it." It's like, the crack wasn't there before I was standing there. What do you mean? Oh, just like, we don't talk about the crack. We don't talk about the crack? The fuck does that even mean? It's inappropriate to talk about it, okay? So The person walked away, and he was just left completely confused. He walked back over to the dam to look at this crack. Now what the hell could be so special about this crack? The crack was gone. Well, it was there a minute ago. That he had just been confirmed that there would be a crack. How the fuck did this crack not be there, and not be there again? That doesn't make any sense. Holy shit. So, he went around town asking everyone he could, what is up with this crack? What is up with this dam? Why is it so, who made this dam? Why is it so intricate? Turns out, it was created, the entire dam was created by one single person, a legendary artist that made many, many beautiful works, but everyone forgot his name. And the dam, well, that was his last work. Oh my. He died inside the dam. And this wasn't no cement concrete dam. No, this was brick and wood. But he was knocked out by one of the workers, and they fucking built it around him and let him die inside. Apparently he was a bit of a jerk with anyone he worked with. He was a complete asshole, screaming at everyone. He wanted everything to be perfect and right. And it was. And that's why he had to die. So, every once in a while, a crack would form because his soul was trying to break free. Well, our main character, Joel, not knowing what else to do with his life and being completely bored and out of his mind, he said, well, fuck it. This is the most interesting thing I'll probably ever do in my life. He was going to break down the dam. In the middle of the night, he got a sledgehammer and he just started busting up the wood. The first time he hit, nothing happened. The second time he hit, nothing happened. The third time he hit, nothing fucking happened. He's a fucking idiot. You're not gonna be able to fucking destroy a freaking piece of art like this, a well-made structure. So, he did the next best thing. He took a car and he drove it into it, and he died. Oh no, he broke the dam, set the soul free, and it possessed him. His barely alive body was possessed, and he became an artist ghost thing that started doing more art and started getting vengeance on the people related to the people that put him into the dam. That's that story. Oh man, that was a short one, and it was that was a story, you know. Oh man, I guess we should tell another story. There was a guy named Cale and a girl named Sadie. They had recently gotten married and bought an apartment together. They were finally living the life they wanted. They had said their vows, they had made their commitment, and they had gotten a house together. They were even discussing having children. Oh man, were they happy. But soon they found that downstairs there was the most horrible yelling every night. It was like children screaming all the time, running around, throwing things and all that crap. So one day they had enough of it, decided to go downstairs. Now they weren't the type of people that complained. They hated this. I mean, they didn't want to be those kind of people, you know? But they went down there, they knocked on the door, and it went dead silent. This woman came out, an older looking woman, said, "What do you want?" Like, "Well, I hate to bother you, but could you please, keep your children quiet? We're trying to sleep. We've both got work in the morning and all that." And she said, "Oh no, I don't have any children." I said, "No, you clearly have children. It sounds like 4 or 5 of them just all screaming at the top of their lungs. What are you talking about?" No, I don't have children." And so he left, and him and his wife complained. They were both like, "What the fuck? The nerve of this woman to deny that she has children." A few minutes later, they heard them same kids screaming it up. It's just like, this is not cool. What did they do? They walked downstairs, they took out their phone, and they recorded the screaming before knocking on the door again. When the woman said, no, I don't have any children," they brought out the phone. And she said, "You can't prove that came from this house. What do we have to prove? All we're asking is for you to keep your children calm, you know? It's late. Don't you, enforce sleep or something like that? Like, don't they have school?" Said, Get out of my house. Go away. You're soliciting. Fuck off." So they left, and this kept happening and happening. Eventually, they just called the cops, and they were like, "Hey, this is not okay. We're hearing screams and stuff." The cops came in there and knocked this woman over because they heard the screaming from outside the door, and in there were 4 children that were running around the entire house. Daggone bugs. We're outside in the light. I have the only light source in there. These children that looked like they were just completely neglected, running around like crazy. They were filthy, like they hadn't had baths. None of them looked like they'd ever brushed their teeth ever. Their hair was matted. There were 2 boys and 2 girls, and they were just having the time of their life, acting like wild. Well, long story short, because of this woman's neglect, the children got taken away. And the 2 main people, whatever the hell their names were, I think it was Kale and I want to say Sam, but I know that's wrong. Sarah? Sarah. Your name's Sarah now. Joel. Not Joel. Joel, we forgot about you. Fuck you, Joel. Kale and Sarah. Fuck it. Kale and Sarah decided, well, we want to have kids. And these kids are, right there. They decided to adopt them. Why the fuck not? Because this is the happy ending place where convoluted shit happens because we want it. We want these 2 happy couple to raise these poor children that have not been raised at all. They hadn't been going to school. They were wearing torn up clothes. They were attacking each other. Their hair was all matted up. Like, well, we don't want to separate these children, and we've never had a child before, but we're gonna take all 4 of them because we live in Fantasyland. So they took all 4 of the children, and at first it was difficult. They didn't know how to take care of children. I mean, they knew they were old enough that it wasn't like they were having to take care of babies, but they had to prepare their foods and stuff, and it was 4 children, so that's a lot more mouths to feed, and none of them had any manners of any sort. They were all constantly yelling over each other. Eventually, they decided to take these kids camping to get them away from that house and kind of teach him some things. And taught him how to fish. Taught one of the kids how to swim. How to build a fire. How to pitch a tent. You know, all the good old fun camping stuff. They went kayaking. They had one of them boats with them pedals. What are those called? Yeah, these people live in an apartment and they have both a kayak and one of them pedal boat things, because they don't know how to spend their money, okay? Oh man. And these kids just loved them because these people, they knew that these two people that were raising them actually cared about them. And they were happy. The end. Okay, we've got 2 short stories. I think we can have another one in here, you know? I mean, we're 16 minutes in. The night's still young, man. Is it still dropping? It's not dropping no more. We'll bring the umbrella back out when it starts dropping. Oh, man. I don't want my wet butt on the grass this time. Someone's sitting on a little crate. And when I sat on it, it started to crack because this thing was already half broken. And I sat on it. I was like, oh, I hope this doesn't just like fall in while I'm recording this. We need a new genre. I was trying to mix things up because my immediate instinct with that story was to go in, oh, the children didn't exist. They were ghost children. But I was like, no. That's too easy. Arguably, though, I made it even harder for myself. Oh, wait, that was the point. Shut up. Shut up, me. Shut up, you. Fuck off. Oh, man, I love the rain. The wind, and the trees, and the nature. That's why both my stories had to do with nature, man. I love the outdoors. That's why I record this outdoors. Most people record in their bedroom and all that shit, but I'm like, nah. I like it out here, you know. Especially right now, it's spring. Oh my goodness. There was this guy named Dan. Dan was an airplane pilot, but by night he was a stripper. They called him Dan the Man. Dan the Man, the stripper. Oh man, he was a well-known stripper. He was so well-known that people across the world requested him. One day he was piloting, and one of the stewardess came up to the front, and it turned out that they were some kind of crazy fan. They pulled out a knife and tried to stab him. Well, they stabbed his arm, but he was able to knock them away. And the plane started spiraling all over the place, you know? And this woman, her face just planted into the window or whatever. She landed on all the controls, and he had to quickly regain control of the plane, and his co-pilot grabbed her and threw her away. The co-pilot, once the plane was stable, he went back and he said, hey, are there any medical people? Are there any police officers? We are 2 hours away from our destination, and some shit just went down. There were no doctors on the plane, and there were no police officers on the plane. There were no firemen. There were no emergency people at all. there was this one woman who said, well, you know, I know how to do CPR. No, he's not dead, and his heart hasn't stopped. Oh, man. Shot down. So, the captain took his shirt and wrapped up his arm, and he said, I'm Dan the Man, and I'm gonna land this fucker. He went all the way them 2 hours, and he got back. Turns out, this woman was a well-known eco-terrorist, and she hated him because he was constantly drinking with straws. He drank everything with straws. He just loved the texture of that plastic. And she was a terrorist advocating for the fucking turtles. So she wanted him dead. She was like, oh, you go from this place to this place to this place, and you go through like 5 straws a day. That's 5 turtles that you kill every day. How many turtles is that in a fucking year? You do the fucking math. That's a lot of fucking turtles, you know? So he was like, oh man, I've had an experience. I guess I'll go to metal straws. He goes to the metal straw and he's like, nah, this texture, it sucks ass. He went right back to the plastic straws. Next thing he knew, there were 2 other people that came after him in his hotel one night while he was fucking sucking some guy's dick. One person came in with a gun, and the other came in with fucking cheap, trashy, weeb swords that they got from some freaking pawn shop that were made by some nerd in the back of their backyard, and were just brittle as fuck. They're made of like aluminum or some shit. Sorry about that, I was interrupted. Where were we? Oh, so there Dan the Man is sucking dick, and there's fucking someone with a freaking, I don't know, Beretta pointed at his head, and another person with a sword aimed at his neck. They said, it's time to die for your crimes against nature. What does he do? Pops that dick out of his mouth and throws a dildo at one of them, and then dives. One of the fuckers started shooting around the room, because, you know, it's a machine gun now. Shut up. Shut up. Man. What does Dan the Man do? Well, he just so happens to have a freaking metal straw in his room, and he stabs one of them fuckers with that straw. Says, suck on that. The other one was just like, how dare you kill them with such a terrible joke? You've just made their lives worthless. Said, well, you better get the fuck out of here if you don't want your life to be worthless. Dude drops the gun and runs out the door. Pulls out his phone and calls 911. Meanwhile, the person he was sucking the dick of, it's just got blood all over him, and he's screaming. The police come, and Dan the Man tells them about the people who tried to kill him, and they're like, well, you know, it's your fault. You shouldn't have been chewing on them plastic straws. Don't you know it kills the turtles? He's like, oh, I had no fucking idea. So, the police go, and them people, them eco people, decide, we don't want to fuck with this guy. He's killed fucking 2 of us, and there's only 6 of us. we're a small group and we're dwindling in numbers. He's gonna fucking kill all of us. Well, little did they know that Dan the man was fucking tired of this shit, and he was going around looking for them. And eventually, through his fucking galaxy brain, he figured out who each and every single one of them was, what their patterns were, who they live with, all that shit. And he started going around stabbing them with straws. And after that, the police began to notice a pattern of murders. They called him the Straw Killer. He would always leave a fucking retarded, stupid pun whenever he killed these people. Oh man. And he got away with murder. He used all his fame and fortune and bought his own freaking island. He had his own private jet, and he made all this money off of his fucking OnlyFans. Oh no. Dan the man. Someone draw Dan the man. I might have to draw Dan the man. Oh boy. If I draw Dan the man, I'll put him at the end of this video. So we've gotten 3 titillizing stories. We've got Joel the Damned, Kale and Christy Sarah. Her name just got, you know what? Kale and Thought. Kale and his Thought. And the Screaming Children. We got Dan the man who sucks for life. There we go. Yeah. Oh boy. So, as our evening comes to an end, the night not coming to an end, but going into an eternal darkness, I leave you with a question. Would you like Dan the man to suck your dick? Or your badge? Who is Dan the man? How attractive is he? Does he have long hair? Does he look like a guy that would be freaking a slut or whatever? Not slut, whatever. I can't think of words right now. Stripper, I guess. Person who does sex by trade. And apparently is also an air pilot. Because those two things go so well together. Does he do drugs? Is he like all about that party life? Is he like a big celeb? Or is he just like a calm, quaint person that is pretty damn fucking awesome, that just happens to love sucking dick? Oh, in me, man. Why am I still going? I'm making this worse. Oh no. What happened? The first one went so well, but this one took 3 stories to get anywhere with, and they're all trash, except I like Dan the man. Dan the man needs to become a character. Maybe I'll make another story about Dan the man. It'll be a different story. Maybe it'll just be about, you know, him being a freaking serial killer, or him living on his island and struggles of a rich person, or maybe somebody comes and they expose him for not being a stripper, but for being an air pilot. They're just like, hey, you're an air pilot, you should be ashamed of yourself. I don't know. In this video, please. Oh man, I beg of you, please don't subscribe. Oh, don't subscribe to me. Subscribe to Dan the man. Oh man. Don't subscribe for me. Don't subscribe for my stories. Don't subscribe for my bullshit. Don't subscribe for my cringe. Don't subscribe for my cursedness. Subscribe for Dan the fucker man. Dan the sucker. Dan the man the sucker. Yeah. Oh, goodbye.